Moke and friends, welcome to another episode of Moke and Friends. Today, I kind of did something to my wall, did some shit because one of my friends said it looked bland, so I just tried to do that. But I have a very special guest, and I think he's a legend in Austin. I had this whole speech, but I just wanted to bring him in because I really want to talk to him because I know he's gonna drop some gems. So I got T Double. T Double, what's the deal?
What's up, family?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I love that intro. The intro's kind of dope. The intro to your
Which one?
show is kind of rock.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man. Thanks.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of
I
rock. Yeah,
every I wanted it to be like kind of like a movie intro. You know how it's kind of like quiet and they make something
yeah,
like that. And so
that's
I'm just
dope.
kind of just dabble like for when DMX died, I did some with like some DMX slides and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still learning. But
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope, though.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So is it okay if I can call you a legend? I mean, do you think you're a legend?
Uh, I just think I worked really hard. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I put in a lot of work when other people was kind of half-assing it. So I've been able to sustain
Mm.
and maintain myself.
Yeah.
I really thought outside the box when a lot of people just still thinking about rapping downtown. I was
Yeah.
on some whole, I was on like licensing movies and where do I want to like basically I had a game plan of every 5 years I wanted to be further along than I was 5 years ago. So I always
Yeah.
went with
Okay.
that type of game plan. So I wouldn't necessarily call myself a legend. I would just say, I worked really hard and I put in the work. Work is measurable. You can measure the work.
Okay. So
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
like that kind of got me some. But look, I want to start at the very beginning.
Right.
I call this the origin of T double. Now you can start however you can start with your kid, whatever. But I do want you to touch the point of when you started getting into music because you have a pretty fucking incredible resume.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like nigga, I've been snooping on you even before I asked you to be on the show.
Right.
But I dug a little bit more today, and you mentioned TV license, and
Yeah.
I saw yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, nigga. But let's start there. I don't want to get too excited, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I would say, man, like I really got into music seriously probably when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I cut my first demo when I was 8. I mailed it to Warner Brother Records when I was 9.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, so at 9, I knew I wanted to be in the music business because when I was young, I had real bad asthma. I was always the sickly child, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't really do sports and all that. So I just gravitated toward the music room in elementary, toward the piano, the drums, whatever. And then I would just, it was one Christmas. I just told my mom, I was like, I don't want a football. I don't want a fire truck. I don't want none of that, a bike, nothing. I said, I want a keyboard.
Yeah.
But I saw at Sears, I was like, give me a keyboard. And that was it. I started cutting demos and I looked on the back, I went through my dad's records because he had tons of records, right? So I
Yeah.
went through the back of his records. I found a Prince record. I think it was Controversy. And I saw that it was produced, arranged, composed, all that by one person. And I
Yeah.
said, oh, that's how you make records. You do it all yourself. So from that point, it was like, I'll do it all myself. He was on Warner Brothers records. So I said, since I'm kind of doing what he's doing, I'll mail my demo to Warner Brothers.
But you what were you recording on at 8 years old?
Well, my mom would go to Sears, right, to go shopping
Uh
like your parents would go shopping like every weekend or
yeah.
something. So while she was shopping for like vacuum cleaners, towels, whatever, I would go to the boombox area where they had boom boxes and keyboards, and I would put a keyboard in front of the boombox.
Hmm.
I would take my dad's blues tapes that he recorded off KZI. I put it in the boombox, and I would record my demo in the stores. I would use a preset on the keyboard, and I would
What?
rap. I would rap into the boombox. So every weekend when we went to the store, I would record probably 5 songs every time. So then when I accumulated enough songs, I went and got the Prince album. I saw it was Warner Brothers. My mom and myself, we rode the bus downtown. And back then, it was like probably had to ride like 3 buses.
Yeah.
So we caught 3 buses down to the post office. mailed off my demo. You know, I saved up my money to pay for the postage and everything. You know, so I was a go getter, man.
Wow.
I was a go getter.
Yeah. So did you see any luck when you were doing
Yeah,
that?
they wrote me back, but they said like the letter. They basically said like everybody like thanks, but not what we're looking for. But keep working on it. And now since I'm older, I see that was kind of like the BS letter they send to everybody, right? But
What
when
what
you're
were
a
you
kid,
rapping about as 8 years old though?
man, I think my first song I did was actually it was like an R&B song. It was
Yeah.
called Strawberry Shortcake. That was the first song that I did that I mailed to Warner Brothers. That was the first song. It was kind of like a new edition type of vibe, right? Like
Yeah.
that type of pop thing. But the rest of the demo was hip hop, was rap. So that was the first demo I made. So when I got the letter, it was basically a rejection letter, right? Like thanks, but no
Hmm.
thanks type of thing. But as a 9-year-old, you're like, damn, they actually heard my music. Like a
Yeah,
record label
yeah.
actually heard it. So that was the battery. After that, I was like, oh, I can do this. It's on now. Like Warner Brothers wrote me, it's on. And that was back in the day when they actually wrote you back. They actually corresponded. Like it's
Yeah.
very different than now. But yeah, that's what shot me off then. And from then I just started making albums. At that time I was called TJ Jam, right?
Okay.
Tierney Johnson Jam. That was my first name. So I just started making a bunch of cassettes and selling them at elementary. I was selling cassettes at like, sixth grade, fifth, sixth grade
Damn.
at elementary. So yeah.
And you were making your own beats too?
Yeah, I was making. I produced everything all my albums. I have like 33 albums. I produced everything on all those records except one song on my Lost Scriptures album called Mixtape Material. DJ Casanova, who was like my mentor, he did that
Yeah.
track. But everything else, I produced everything else I've done.
Jesus.
So kind
33
of crazy.
albums?
Yeah, and that's just when I started counting. You know what I mean? You gotta remember, I was already putting out albums in elementary on cassettes. I was already putting out like 12-song cassettes in sixth grade.
Yeah.
And then you got junior high, and I was putting out cassettes then. So if I put all my T double records, so to speak, together, I'll probably release maybe 150 records, 150 albums,
What
maybe more
I
than
mean,
that.
I man, I'm speechless, but I'm also just seeing it's not even a flex, but I'm also just seeing the gold plaque behind you.
Yeah. That's from
What
that's when I dropped the record about maybe 6 years, 7 years ago called Black Mics
uh
Matter. And that record was like a
ah
hip hop, it was like a hip hop was going on. So I had a lot of Austin artists on it. I had poetry on it and all that. And my boy who worked for a major label, he sent me that because he liked the idea of the record that I did.
yeah.
Me and him go way back. So he appreciated that I was taking that step when a lot of artists weren't doing that, really
Yeah.
tackling those issues. So he sent me the plaque, man.
That's fucking dope. So you're in your studio right now?
Yeah. I'm in the studio right now, man. Let me see if I can.
Cause Jesus Christ.
And this is just,
So
this is just one room.
do you do okay, can you I mean I do want to get back to the origin of T Devil, but I'm
Right.
like you're just sitting in a lot of you know what I'm saying? Can you explain to me
Yeah.
what is that behind you?
Which one? Which one? All this
That
right
that
here.
whole rack stack, yeah.
This is just, a lot of people who produce, they do it on computers a lot. So a lot of this they have on their computer. This is like EQs for the mics, preamps. I got
Wow.
vintage. I got some vintage stuff. I got stuff from the 60s. You know what I mean? So, I'm a gearhead,
And,
man. You know what I mean? Like DJ
and you
Casanova.
you know how to use all that?
I know how to use all that, man. All of this. You know what I mean? Like, see if you can see over here, like more keyboards and more stuff. Like, it's like NASA. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
sitting in the middle of it. But yeah, I use everything. Like nothing in here is just for show. Like some guy's studio, they just got it just to say I have that. But I use all this.
Yeah. I love your love for the Moog. Is it Moog?
Yeah, Moke.
Yeah, the
The,
Moog.
the, the best way you can think of it is like Vogue. Like Vogue, Mogue.
Yeah.
So that way you'll
Because
always read it.
I use that on Omnisphere, and I always love the
Yeah,
sounds. But
yeah, yeah,
I see that you have a lot. That is insane, man.
yeah. I got like I got I got 5 Mogues.
How
You know what
much
I
is
mean? But
those
each one
running? Those sound
they,
expensive.
Yeah, they vary. You know what I mean? Like, you can find some on like Reverb.com. A few of these I got from friends and trades. Just from having relationships, man. Like one friend, he wanted to buy a drum set, so
Yeah.
he sold me his Moog really cheap so he can get a drum set. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
everything in there has kind of like a story to it too, which is what I
Yeah.
really like as well. Nothing in here is just like I bought it just because. It's like a friend
Right.
had it, or I got a drum machine like Prince used, so I want to get that same drum machine and that type of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Damn. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now let's go back. So now
all
you're in
right,
high school now. So how's
right.
music?
Music is jumping, but it
Like,
really started
is this
popping
the
in like
golden era of hip hop? You came up in like the golden era of hip hop, right?
yeah, I would say like my junior high was when Austin hip hop really started popping. Like, we had a lot of groups that were doing it because in junior high, I was in a group called Dope Melody. And that was
Hmm.
me and my junior high friend Charles. He called himself Chili Fresh. He was my DJ. First he was my beatboxer. So when we
Yeah.
would battle, he would beatbox for me, right? So I got known around town as being a freestyle battler. That's what I was known for, because I was chopping heads off MCs. That's just what I did, like everywhere I went. So
Yeah.
we had the fellas. We had a lot of groups at that time. But when I got to high school, I went to Reagan High School first, and that's where Papa Chuck was. We had the Coolie Girls, Project Crew. A lot of groups was really popping at that time, right? And
Yeah.
selling out shows. Like I was probably like, man, like Doris Miller. I was doing a lot of shows with her. I was probably like 15 selling out Doris Miller. Like I was 15 years old and I had like 500 some odd people coming to see me every time I stepped on stage. So I was
Damn.
already like semi-famous, I guess you could say, at 15.
Yeah.
Just on the
Yeah.
east side. That wasn't even 6th Street. We wasn't even thinking about downtown. We was making more money on the east side.
What was the East Side like hipsterish, like how it is now?
No, hell no. Hell no. The east
What?
side was straight hood. It was hood shit.
Oh yeah.
It was like, yeah, it
Oh
was like straight MCs. You had the dope game over there, you had the prostitutes, you had all that. Like we grew up in all that. And for a lot of us to
yeah.
make it out of that environment, still be alive. And like I got friends that were in junior high with me that are just now coming home from prison. Like it was that
Damn.
real. You know what I mean? So for me to make it out of that is a blessing within itself. But it's nowhere
Yeah.
like what it is now. Like,
Right.
white people walking their dogs, they would have never came to the east side. That's still new to me. When I go through the east side, I'm like, damn, this is crazy. You know what I mean? I would have never
Yeah.
guessed it.
Wow. Damn. Okay. And so by the time that you're selling out shows and like a lot of people come to your shows, like how many albums have you put out then at this point?
At that time, when I was 15, I probably had I was probably pushing maybe 10, 15 records, albums by then. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
I have been chunking them out. Like, at one point in time, I was putting out maybe 3 records a year. And that's kind of like when I slowed down. But before that, I was probably putting out maybe a record out a month. So it was almost like 12 albums a year. And that was when I was young. So I just
Yeah.
had that
Wow.
energy just to boom, 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 boom. So I can't even put a number on how many songs or albums I've done because I was just doing it so naturally. I never thought about counting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that came later when people was like, man, you should start counting how many records you've done, like keep track. And then when I started counting, then it got up to like where I'm at now with 33 albums. That's just when I started
Yeah.
counting. That's not prior.
Damn.
So the catalog and that all came in handy when I got to the licensing stuff, which we'll talk about too. But being able to
Yeah.
own my own catalog, I own all my masters, I own all my publishing, I own all my rights to all my music. Nobody decides what happens with my music but me.
Wow. Okay. And so wow. So okay. So leading up to that point, now still walk me down. So now like you're putting out
Right.
3 records a year, and so walk me
Right.
through all the way to that point.
Man, it was just me and Charles, man, I would go over his house, the guy who's my beatboxer and became my DJ. I would go to his house, man, and we would just be upstairs in his room and just knock out songs. We'd hear a sample, we'd chop it on like a little SK5 that had like 4 pads on it, the SK5 sampler. And with that, there was no sequencer on it, right? You couldn't quantize it, nothing. So when I made the beats, I'd be playing all the pads at the same time for 4 minutes. So I play for 4 minutes. We rewind it. I lay my vocals, rewind it, do my ad libs, rewind it. He had the cut. We move on to the next song. I play the next track, 4 minutes straight, 4 minutes. Repeat the process. So it was like a factory over there, man.
But
so I was glad
how long did it?
I was glad when sequencers came in. When you could sequence it, I was glad about that.
How long did it take you to come up with the track?
I say maybe about 15 minutes. We could probably knock out a song in like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Once we hear the sample, because back then you had to speed up the record to get more of the sample. So we put that on one track. We put a kick on the pad, a snare on the pad, and maybe another little odd sound. We had 4 pads. And so I would hold down the sample pad and then play the drums like that, and then hit that other pad. So it was like working a typewriter. And so once we laid it down, we just move on to the next track. Like that's why a lot of my songs I don't have memorized, because I did them so quick. Like I just did it, next track, did it, next track, did it, next track. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
So like that's crazy about the no sequence.
Yeah. So
and
we played all the way through.
So people were making beats and just songs like that.
Yeah, that's the only way we could do it. You know what I mean? And we would dump it on like 4-track cassette tapes. You know what I mean? You had a 4-track cassette. We laid a beat down on one track, rewind it, add everything else to it. That's the album. That's the song. And we do that like 10 times with 10 different tracks. Now we got an album. And then we would go, we would sell them in the gas stations. We would sell them out the trunk. We would sell them at school. We would sell them. Like we was really after doing that. Like when you hear people say out the trunk, we was out the trunk.
Yeah.
We was doing it for real.
Well, do you think that the love like that you got, or just the love period, is different from then than now? Because that seems like well no, just as far as like the hip hop scene period here.
Oh, in general? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I think cats still love what they do, but I don't think the hunger is 100% there, because they got a lot of things.
I mean, fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you say that? Because I don't see now that a lot of 500 people are gonna go out to like a 15-year-old now, depending who it is.
Yeah, I look well. As far as fans, a lot of people want to be rappers now. A lot of people want to be the artists now. You know what I mean? Back then, it's like people knew the caliber where they were. Like fans stayed fans. They supported you.
Yeah.
They bought your music. They bought tickets. Artists, we stayed artists, and we stayed in that lane. Now the skill level of most MCs is not like Rakim. It's not like Big Daddy Kane no more, right? So anybody can do it now. So a lot of people just jumping into that rapper game, and now the fans is dwindling because all the fans are rappers now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
That's a tough part on that. Yeah, that's a pretty tough part on that. But
yeah,
you know, I mean, I think there's still fans who want to support people, but they're just not as open as they used to be to find new stuff. People aren't looking for the new stuff and local stuff.
Do you think there's unity? Because you named a shitload of different crews. You know what I'm saying? And like that seems for me, it seems like the Cold Crush era and all that shit. We just had all these cool ass groups and shit.
Totally.
But now it's different. But I mean, was it more competitive, more culture? It seemed like it was more culture because it was the birth of it.
It was competitive too. Like you know, I was under DJ Casanova, and to make a comparison, Casanova was like Timberland or Marley Marl. He was the main producer that everybody went to. So he handpicked artists that he wanted to work with, and in order to record on one of his tracks, you had to be dope, right? Like you had to be on your shit. You couldn't be in there just half-assing it, or you would never get on the track. So it was very competitive, where everybody wanted to be on that track. But we were still friends, though. Nobody never hated nobody. Like if I put out a record, everybody goes buy it. If Project Crew put out a record, everybody buys it. If Cool Girls did, everybody buys it. Nobody was like, I'm not buying that because I'm not in their crew. We just support it. And that's what really what's missing here now. It's like a lot of people just ain't running out buying it because they local. Back then it was like, You from Austin, I'm buying it. Period. No discussion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying a lot of people are, but some music's trash. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And just like you said, everybody wants to be a rapper, so
Yeah.
therefore, you don't know who to really trust. You know what I'm saying? You don't know
Right.
who to really listen to anymore because
Yeah.
now I mean I usually judge like local rappers and I hate to judge, but everybody judge. But I usually
Right.
judge them
Right.
if they're too drippy per se. I may
Right.
listen to them, but
Right.
if they look kind of just like this or just kind of mediocre, I might listen
Right.
to them more just because I
Right.
know these niggas are probably rapping it and they don't really give a fuck about the clout as the kids
Yeah.
shall say.
You know what I mean? Totally. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, if you think about Houston, Houston has a sound,
Yeah.
right? Like you can tell something's out of Houston. San
Hmm.
Antonio had that for the same time too. Dallas had that where they had a sound. Austin has
Yeah.
never had a sound, and that's a good thing because we made sure I never sounded like so and so. They never sounded like me. We never sounded like
Yeah.
Houston. We never tried to sound like New York, right?
Right.
So that
Right.
was dope. But now everybody's trying to sound like Migos. They're trying to sound like what's happening and what's
Yeah.
pop
Yeah.
and what they think is going to sell. The originality aspect is kind of gone. Like I always tell artists, be yourself. It might take off for people to catch on, but when they catch on, they're gonna love you for you, not who you pretended to
Right.
be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, tell me about license. You were talking about licensing.
Right.
Now, did you ever have you always been independent or did you sign to a
Yeah.
major?
Well, I was on in '99. I was on Good Vibe Recordings, which was out
Okay.
of LA. That was the same label that had AC Alone. They had Slum Village, Jay Dilla,
Oh
a lot of
wow.
underground cats. Yeah, I was on the same label as Jay Dilla. Like that was my folk. Like we was cool. So
Oh, you knew
that was
Jay
the only
Dilla.
deal yeah, that was the only
Okay.
label that I was on. But my situation with that label was it was a partnership where I owned my masters. I owned my publishing. I could sign other people. I got my boy
Oh.
Mirage, who's from here. I got him signed too through Kinetic, through my company. So
Yeah.
I wasn't signed as I've never been signed as an artist. I've always been signed as a company. I only play to own. I'm an owner. I play for ownership. I don't get up there and just rap just about somebody else can make money off of it. I own
Yeah.
it. And so that's what I teach my homies. That's what I teach my friends. That's what I tell everybody. Be an owner. Don't just get up there and just be rapping and then somebody else take all the money. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? You
Wow.
just got to know what
So
you want.
so
You just got to know what you want when you go in there.
yeah, I was gonna say like how was that negotiation? I guess because you do everything, so it's easier
Yeah.
to negotiate.
When I met when I met Good Vibe, three things happened at the same time. Right. I was working at South by Southwest. I was the hip hop guy.
Mm.
I was booking all the hip hop stuff. Right. I was
Yeah.
I was working at Arista Records. We had an Arista Records office here. You know, they had Bad Boy, LaFace, all that. That was in Austin. So I worked for
Yeah.
them, and I was doing marketing and A&R. And then, I flew out to San Diego to a music conference, and I was freestyling, and these labels was approaching me. Def Jam, Elektra, I think Polygram at the time. A lot of labels was like, "We want to fuck with you," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, can I own it?" Right? Because when I was at Arista Records, I sat up under the president of the label a lot, and he just gave me contracts. He would say, "Take this home and read this. Bring it back tomorrow and tell me what you learned." Right? So I was just soaking up the game. So when I got to Good Vibes, I knew how to negotiate that deal, and I negotiated
Wow.
day one. The minute I met the owner, I said, "I want to own all my shit, and if I can't do that, conversation's over." And I said, "And I want you to send me a package of all the artists you work with. You send me a demo. You prove to me that I should sign with you." And he did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I can fuck with you." You know what I mean? Like, okay, we can do that. But I said, I have to be able to come back to Austin and sign other groups. Because I didn't, I
Yeah.
think it's whack when you're the only one that's blowing up. You got to make a
Right.
pathway for other people to come behind you. So I said, if I
Yeah.
could sign other groups, we could do this deal. And so it went through, man. It popped. And then right after I dropped my record, Mirage dropped his, and then Slum Village saw how we was doing with Jay Dilla, and then they signed. So they signed right
Damn.
after Mirage record. Yeah. So it's crazy,
Wow.
man. It's crazy.
That
You
is
just gotta stay out there, man.
how, yo, side question. So I've been
Right.
thinking because at one point I was like I wanted to be an A&R. What exactly do you have to do to be an A&R, and what the fuck does A&R stand for?
Well, A&R stands for artist and repertoire, meaning the
Okay.
artist, which is you, right? You as a person as a whole. Your repertoire is your music, right? So what A&R used to be, go to a club, see somebody who looks kind of cool, interesting, listen to their music. Okay, I'll fuck with you. But come to the label. Let's make a deal. Let's write an
Yeah.
agreement. An intent letter on a napkin. Now you're supposed to be working with me, right? But
Yeah.
now A&Rs are lawyers. A lawyer is the A&R now because
Mm.
they're negotiating all your deals. That's when I tell artists, when you meet an A&R, you are meeting a lawyer. You're not meeting some kid from around the way. You're meeting somebody
Yeah.
who's a lawyer or one step away from. So be careful what you say. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you sign. This is not your homeboy, right? When you think of record labels, they are not your friends. So
Right.
when you go in there thinking this is your homeboy, you're fucking yourself because they're going to use that against you. Every deal that I've worked, I've never went in there smiling and shaking hands and saying, let's go have a drink. I'm like, I want to own my shit. I want a one record term. I want this. And they're so shocked when you know your shit, they can't do nothing but give it to you or walk away. I've been
Right.
blessed that they've given me what I want every time. So
Wow, man. So
yeah.
damn.
And I'm
So
and
so
I'm and I'm one of probably one of the few, if any, that's had this type of situation with labels where I go in there and I talk shit. And I'm like Dame Dash, right? Of Rockefeller.
yeah.
I'm like, this is what the
Yeah.
fuck I want to do. This is what I want. This is how much I want to get paid. I want to own my shit. I want my cover to look like this. I want to own the artwork. I want all that shit. And they're just like, oh shit. Okay, cool. Like, fuck it. And I'm just some guy from Texas, right? When I signed with Good Vibes, they didn't know nothing about Austin, Texas. They was more about Houston. They was like,
Yeah.
Austin, like, okay, we'll put a single out. They want to put one song out with me. I say, fuck that. We're gonna do a whole EP, and then I want to sign my homeboy, and then I want to get him a deal, and then he can sign people. Like I was in there talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I was talking big shit in there. But it worked.
Did
You know what I'm
you
saying?
did you ever did you work with Jay Dilla?
I never worked with him. But you know what I mean? We met a few times. We met out in San Diego. We met at some conferences, and
Yeah.
he was a cool, crazy talented cat. You know what I mean? Like I learned a lot of production stuff from him, and to have the catalog he's had, he was really humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you met him, you would never know that was Jay Dilla. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That was
Right.
James. You would never know.
Man, I've you see this is the good and the bad thing about like doing these podcasts because I talk to a lot of
Right.
great people, and as it just goes on, I just be so like impressed, amazed, fanboyish, and then I just get like I just get stuck because I know we haven't even scratched the surface of your resume, and
Yeah.
it is so
Yeah.
fucking impressive. Like nigga, goddamn, and I don't even say
Yeah.
goddamn, but goddamn.
I do. You know what I mean? Like everything that I do for Austin. I do for the town. Because a lot of
Yeah,
people move here and they kind of half-ass on claiming, right? They'll claim it till nobody likes them no more. Then they want to leave or they want to talk shit.
right.
I'm from here. I'm from the east side. Like I'm from 12th Street. I'm from over there, right? So I'm
Yeah,
the real deal. And for me to put in the work that I've done, I'm for the town. That's why it'll be hard pressed for you to somebody who talks shit about me because I've been so
yeah,
fucking consistent for like 30 plus years.
yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna skip around. I want to get back to
Go ahead.
licensing, but
Yeah, go
as
ahead.
we were talking about Jay Dilla, I do want to talk about 'cause this is one of my favorite people.
Right.
You working with Young Guru?
Yeah.
Like I met Young Guru once at South by Southwest. Me and my homeboy Thiago took pictures with him, and he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
very cool, very humble.
Yeah. He is.
Now,
He is.
I
Yeah.
saw you posted like a picture with him like a little bit ago, but
Right.
today as I was snooping, I
Right.
looked and I was like, oh yeah, this nigga did do this.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that in itself told me this nigga may actually be a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Because your studio is great, and I see it on Instagram. But then when I
Yeah,
started, checking up on you and seeing like you working with Spotify and doing all, I was like, this nigga's not
yeah,
playing.
yeah.
How
No,
did
no, not
you
at
how
all.
did you come to meet with Young Guru?
Well, Young Guru was putting together a group of producers, right, to go
Mm,
learn from him, right, in the south of France. So he picked 15 producers. Like they reached out to producers, and you had to submit your music, and it was a whole process, right? So they picked 15 producers from Dubai, from Trinidad, from Italy, from everywhere, right? California,
yeah.
even. And so they picked me. So I went out there, right, and I had met Guru. Actually, I met him before that here in Austin. I was introduced to him
Wait,
through a
wait.
mutual friend.
Well, why do you say they picked me and just you just like nigga? That is big. Like you just say it like it's nothing. Like nigga, like like did they mail you something? Do they give you like how did what happened?
Yeah, they hit you up and say, okay, we want you to come be a part of this production team, basically, and start learning, making some beats, like working on, submitting beats to Jay-Z, submitting beats to Jay Electronica, uh, submitting beats with Ninth Wonder and Jamla and their label they were doing, Rhapsody, all this stuff, right? So, they send you the ticket, you get out there. We stayed in a mansion, right? We stayed in like it was probably like maybe a 20 room mansion, right? It had a weight room, it had a pool. It was on this huge ass property. Uh, it was down the street from the town where I think Van Gogh is from, maybe. I'm not quite sure. They told us. Across the street, there was a winery. So we had wine every night, nonstop wine. And all we did, we just made beats all night. We'd wake up in the
Yeah.
morning, 9 o'clock, like clockwork. We go in the studio, which was in the mansion, make beats all day with Young Guru all day, all day, all day. I work with another producer. They work with me. I make the drums. They add to it. Young Guru come in, listen to it. He'll take it and chop it up and play it. And then he'll get on the phone with Jay-Z and say, "This is what we're working on. What you like? Do you want to hear some more?" He'll hang up with him. We work some more, work some more. He'll be like, "Okay, I had the Jay Electronica album." So I heard the Jay Electronica album years before it dropped, right? So he said, "Here's the Jay Electronica album. Is there anything that y'all want to change, that y'all want to remix it?" I mean, it was an amazing experience for real. And when I went to France, I had a broken foot, so I was in a boot the whole time, wandering around. But me and Guru got close, man. Like his knowledge of production is insane, and him being a good person is even better, and photography and he was just
Yeah.
like, he embraced us all like brothers, man. And it wasn't any pressure. Yeah, we were out there working with beats and submitting to Jay-Z and Jay Electronica, but it was still like a laid back environment that when I came
Was
back home, I felt like I was a new person as far as production.
wow. Was
Yeah.
Guru smokes weed, right?
No, he mostly smoked cigarettes. While we were there, he was mostly smoking cigarettes.
Oh,
I don't know. I
damn.
don't know if he still does, but that's what he was mostly doing. And he had the Rockefeller chain on, and it was it
Yeah.
was it was it was the real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Was he staying there with y'all?
Yeah. He stayed on the property with us, like all night. We would
That's
sit up, like we make beats probably like 8 hours a day, right? And then after that, we just sit around and just shoot the shit. I talk about Austin because when I was out there, I was wearing an ATX shirt. Like I said, I
yeah,
represent my city everywhere I go. So I had ATX.
yeah,
Everybody was like, "What's ATX?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Austin. Austin. There's hip hop in Austin because all people know is Houston." So I was just
yeah.
schooling them on what we had. They was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? So we just had a lot of conversations and built friendships. Like I've done production work with my boy in Dubai and my boy in Trinidad, like my boy in Israel. Like we still working. Like they
Yeah.
still hit me up and say we need music for the BBC. Like I've done stuff for the BBC, and so it's crazy, man. It's all about the
D-
network. You know what I mean? Friendships.
did he play any unreleased Jay-Z tracks?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did?
he did. Yeah,
Were they
yeah.
fire?
Fire. He's played some stuff that might not ever see the light of day. Like, because
Man.
when we got to that part of the night, which was probably every night, we were there for like a week. It was a whole week.
Yeah.
So we got to the end of the night. Everybody had to turn their phones off. Everybody had to,
Okay.
it was like secret shit. Like, I'm about to play
Yeah.
these beats. Y'all put your phones up. You know what I mean? So nobody can really be filming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but just to be there and
That's
hear the
fucking
shit,
dope.
yeah, just to be there and hear that music, man, I was just like, if you see my picture on Instagram where it's like me and him at the mixing board, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We working on my shit. We working on J Electronica remixes. We do it like we was working. That just wasn't a photo op. That was just like we was really doing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
just came and just took the picture.
Yeah, we was
Damn.
really in there working, man. I was learning from the teacher, man. That's the folk, man.
Wow.
So
That's
I've had a very blessed career from the east side of Austin to
yeah.
France. You know what I'm saying? So
Damn, working
I ain't
with
mad at all.
Man, like yeah, crossing paths with Jay Dilla, working with Young Guru, and
Yeah,
so now let's rewind. Now let's go back to
right,
licensing.
right,
How now I kind of know about it, and I was
right,
gonna play like I did and be like, so tell the
right,
viewers what it means, but no, tell me, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Tell me exactly what it means and
You
how would one go about getting that.
right. Well, the basics of what licensing is. It's your music and TV, film, and those type of things. The problem
Yeah,
is getting it to that point. You know what I mean? There's music
right.
supervisors. There's people who listen to it before the music supervisor get it. Sometimes you submit a track and they accept it, and then it gets all the way to the music supervisor, and he says, "No, I'm good." Right?
Yeah,
So you're kind of hanging on a string. But I've been doing sync licensing for maybe like 18 years now. Like I was doing it when nobody was even thinking about doing it. It was just on the
yeah.
low. Like nobody knew that I was out here doing that. You know what I mean? So, and I met the actual lady who was doing it, where it's like I say friendships. I was at South by Southwest. I was at a panel on sampling, and this woman who was doing the panel, she cleared samples for Common, Tribe Called Quest, all these other people. So I asked her, "Do you do licensing?" I just came up to her, "Do you do licensing?" She said, "No, I don't, but I have a friend who does." I said,
Yeah.
"Well, I want to get into it. I want to learn about it, right?" I didn't really say I have music. I said, "I just want to learn about it, like educate me."
Mm,
So she connected me to her friend. Her friend called me the following Monday, right? Now, peep this. Called me the following Monday and said, "My friend Deborah said you're interested in licensing." I said, "Yeah, totally." She said, "Do you have any music?" I said, "Yeah." At that time, I had, maybe probably 20 some odd old tracks, right? Like, and I was like,
mhm.
"Yeah, I got a bunch." She said, "Okay, I'll send you a contract Friday." She had never heard my music, but because her friend
Wow.
co-signed me, because her friend
Damn.
co-signed me, I got my first licensing thing with her. But then I had to follow it up with new music, and I had to learn how to be a better songwriter and composer
Yeah.
instead of just boom bap that. I had to really start
Right,
writing the
right.
film and writing the picture and grow as that. But that's how I got that deal, man. She never even heard my music. Just had her homegirl said, "I'm pretty cool. I met this guy at South by Southwest. He seems
Yeah.
nice. He's interested. Fuck with him." And that was it. And I've been with her
Wow.
ever since. Ever since.
Damn. So are you getting like a bunch of royalty checks?
Yeah, you get publishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And that's the thing. But see, that go back to what I said earlier, right? I own everything. I own my
oh
publishing. I own my catalogs. I don't have 10 producers. I don't have 5 extra
yeah.
band members. I don't
So
have 3 or
you
4 vocalists. Everything comes to me, right?
damn.
Like the TV show will give it to the agency. The agency will take their 10% or whatever, send the rest to me. That's how it goes. That's how I like my transactions.
Nice.
I don't like a lot of
Yeah.
extra people in the middle of my shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So whenever something, like the stuff I did with Breaking Bad, right? When that's played on TV here in America, overseas, in hotels, streaming services, whatever, I get a check. No matter when it's played, I get a check. If you in a hotel room and you put it on Breaking Bad, I get a check. If you streaming it on Netflix, I get a check. If you buy the DVD, I get a check. If you rent it off
What
Redbox, I get a check.
well then you are welcome, sir, because I went through a Breaking Bad phase. So
Thank you.
damn. Yo, how did that happen?
Yeah, it break. Well, the lady at the agency called me one day and was like, because I didn't really watch TV. I still kind of don't. And this was
Mm,
the 4th season. My song is episode 1 season 4, right?
Yeah.
And so she called me and was like, the show Breaking Bad, they want your song. And she said it like real hype, right? And I was like, what's Breaking Bad? I had no idea what it was because I didn't watch TV. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And she said, I think it'll be really good for you. And I was like, well, let me call some of my friends first and see what they think about this shit. So I called my homies, homegirl. They were like, oh, Breaking Bad is dope. It's about dope. It's about a meth lab and all this shit. And I was like, okay. So I called her back and said, cool, let's do the deal. Well, the TV company, the production company, they wanted to buy my song, right? 100% and own it and give me a check. You never do that.
Right.
I said, you know, you can license it from me. You know, we can do a sync deal, but I own that master. And so they had already took my song and put it into the TV show, right?
So they had no choice.
They already synced it. So they
Yeah.
fucked themselves.
Yeah.
So I could ask for whatever the fuck I want to. And I said, I want to own 100% of my shit. And they were just like, fuck it.
Damn.
So they got fucked out the deal because they assumed I would take whatever amount of money they was offering, which was actually some bullshit, small coins. But they thought I would take it. You know what I'm saying? And the agency is dope about that too, is she negotiates a lot of my deals for me as a mother for her son. So it's not so much business. It's like, what would be the best deal for Tyranny? So when I turn 60, I'm still getting Breaking Bad money. Right? She negotiates my shit like that. So anything I'm doing now that I've done in the last 18 years, I'm still gonna be making money on. My kids will, my kids' kids will. It'll go on infinite. But you have to know what you want going into it. Like you might hear people say they got a sync or they got a license on a TV show. They probably got paid $200, $500, maybe $1,000 for it, and they'll never see nothing else from it. That's a horrible way to go because the show might become a hit. You know what I mean? So you even if it's the first episode of a show, of a series, you got to negotiate like it's already a hit. Because if it becomes a hit, you already taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of chess games going on in there.
It's kind of like that dude, was Weaver who did Lion King.
Yeah, exactly.
They tried to pay him like 200 racks or something, and he was like, nah. And now he's like eating.
Yep, exactly. You got to go in there and know what you want from day one.
Yeah.
Like any artist that's watching this, make sure you get a game plan together of where you want to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And how are you going to get there? What are you doing right now to secure your future? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing right now? You can't wait till the future gets here and then look back and be like, damn, now I got to fight for that old money because I fucked it off 10 years ago. No, it's 10 years right now. You got to think what 10 years in the future. So it's a lot to go into because, like I said, the industry is not your friend.
Right.
They'll take a young cat and they'll say, here's $1,000. Now you can tell everybody your song is in, you know, whatever. And you run around, my song is on this TV show, but you only made 1,000. I wouldn't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because every time that show comes on and you watch it, you're not making no more money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So how did you get into work with Spotify? You said that they had you build like a studio or something?
Yeah, we worked together to build a studio at my old junior high at Keeling, where I went to. Well, the thing was, here's the Spotify story. A little birdie got in my ear and told me Spotify was coming to town and going to build a studio out at Westlake. Right? And I was like, Westlake got enough shit. Right?
Right, yeah.
Let's put something on the east side. And it was like, that sounds interesting. How can we pull it off? I said, let's do it at Keeling. I said, because that's where I went. That's in the middle of the hood. And I said, and it has more impact when somebody who went there is helping doing it. That way the kids can see somebody who looks like them came back and did something positive for them. So they was like, okay, fuck it. They were like, well, we need computers. We need construction. I said, well, let's do it. Everybody put in their effort. Spotify put in the money. We went and got like 20 Macs. We got like interfaces. We got like Ableton Pro Tools. We built a vocal booth. We built a piano room. I mean, we went hard. We did it like all in the weekend. And like I tell a lot of people didn't even know I was doing that because I wasn't live. I wasn't live on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, check me out. Like, that's whack. Like, I just do the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let people see it. And that was years ago. Like people are writing on my thing now saying, my kid went to Keelan and they loved that program. My kid loved going in that studio. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It ain't about, people bigging me up. It's about the next group of kids being appreciative of that. Because when I was at Keeling, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so as elders and adults, we're supposed to make sure the next generation has what we didn't have. And if you go through your life and you're succeeding and you're becoming successful and you don't take care of the youth, you wasted all that fucking time. You know what I mean? You just been bullshit.
Yo, so let me ask you this again.
Yeah.
Do you think you're a legend?
Like I said, I just do the work. I just do the work, man.
Bruh,
Like,
you're a
you know what I
fucking
mean?
legend,
You know what I mean?
nigga.
I still take out the trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I still,
yeah, but
I still love my mama. I hug my mama and talk to her every day. You know what I mean? My mother was a teacher and she was very humbling. She was
that's
like,
what I
no
was
matter,
gonna say. I was thinking, I was like, you're humble as fuck, dog.
yeah, my mother was always like, no matter what you become and what you do, you'll always be a black man in America. So you never
Hmm.
get too caught up in thinking that I'm something beyond what other people view me as. So I
Yeah,
just do the work. You know what I mean? My thing is I want to take care of the next group of black boys, black girls, because I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I was in Keelan Junior High walking around with a backpack with a notebook, wishing I had somewhere to rap at, wishing I had somewhere to go for lunch.
yeah,
Right. And when you don't have that, where do you go? You hit the streets for lunch. You go to the 7-Eleven. You run across dope boys. You run across
yeah.
dope fiends. Right. But if we can keep them in the schools doing something positive and creative, it's a blessing, man. You know what I mean? So that was my whole goal doing with that. In Spotify, they agreed that that'd be a great idea. They went for it, and we knocked out an amazing studio in that motherfucker, man.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So let me let's talk about this real quick. I realize you love watches. Is that
Right.
correct?
Right. Right.
Because I say that because the most shit you post on Instagram is watches.
Right.
And they're not just any old type of watches.
Yeah.
A lot of them are what, G-Shocks?
G-Shocks.
But where are you getting these watches from? Because I'm like, some of these motherfuckers are looking pretty custom or
Yeah.
pretty
No. No.
rare.
Yeah. I mean, it's endorsement deals. You know what I mean? Like people want you to rock their shit. You know what I mean? And then you get discounts on watches. You know what I mean? Because I had a transplant, right? Well,
Uh,
I had a kidney transplant. So while
I was going to ask you about that, but I didn't know if you
yeah,
wanted to talk about
yeah,
that.
we can talk about it. So when I was laid up, I just started like looking into shit, right? I went to the Berkeley School of Music after I had my transplant, and I got a certificate in music business, music entertainment while I was doing that.
Mm,
I started reading tons of books, right? I was online. I was like, oh, these G-Shocks are fucking dope. Like I heard of them, but I wasn't really like a big fan. But then when I saw the variety, I said, oh, I could fuck with these. Like they different, they stylish. You can customize all this type of shit. So I just got into it. Like you said, most of the watches I post are G-Shocks, but I post like some Seiko, some Street Fighter ones, or
yeah,
I'll post some shit from France, the Yimas, or
yeah.
whatever. But most of my shit's a G-Shocks. And I mean, like I'm rocking 2 G-Shocks right now. This one is a limited edition of 1200 from 1997. They only made 1200 of these. The Ariel France, and then I have my Rangeman, which came out maybe three years ago, and this one is like has GPS on it and all that type of shit. So yeah, that's my I like G-Shocks and I like studio gear. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, but you also have, yeah, because you also have like a lot of gadgets. 'Cause I've seen you with like little beat makers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
you had like an 8-track player.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say where you find this, but obviously you know a lot of people,
Right.
and you know. So, but what's the obsession?
It's
It's a
just
good obsession.
yeah. The thing with me, man, is like I like being creative.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I like stuff that inspires me and makes me think of the next thing. You know what I mean? And be like, so I have, like you said, I have little drum machines, I have little keyboards, I have all that shit. Like after my surgery, I probably produced like 5 songs while I was laid up, you know, for rehab. I was making music then, right? So I always got to be creative. I was one of those kids where I was always moving and Now they'd probably call it like ADHD or something or
Yeah.
whatever term they give it. But I was that kid, like I always got to be doing something, doing something,
Yeah.
doing something, doing something. And that's my obsession, man. Like I just like being creative. Like I like putting out if I wasn't doing music, I'd probably be dead. Like music literally saved my life. Like no joke, no cap on that. Like music literally saved my life. You know what I'm
How
saying?
like how so?
Because it's like I said, I come from the east side when it was really bad, shooting,
Oh
drugs.
yeah,
I
yeah,
could have got
yeah.
caught in that.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
got older, my health was always kind of bad, and then I had to transplant. So music, when I was laid up with the transplant, music is what kept me going. I would listen to music every day. I'd bring my keyboards with me. Like I was in rehab with keyboards around the bed and around the kitchen table making beats. Like
That's it.
just keep my mind sharp, right?
Yeah.
And I signed up for Berkeley School of Music online. I got a certificate in that. Like I stayed so busy during that whole period of time. People knew I had a transplant, but they didn't know I was doing 10 other things at the same time.
So
And that's
how did your like before you got the it was a kidney transplant?
yeah,
So what I mean cuz I don't know what that
right.
means, like what happens before the transplant? Like what's the issue?
Well, the thing is, it's like with me, it's like my body just kind of just shut down. You know what I mean? Because I had diabetes, I had all this other stuff, and
Mm.
I was working all the time. And I was really tired, and my body just said "fuck it," and it just shut down. So I went to the hospital, and it was kind of sad. I went to the hospital, and they was like, my blood was so poisoned because your kidney is your filter.
Right.
That filters, and mine wasn't working, so my blood was so toxic. So they was like, okay, we need to give you a transfusion right now. Like, call your parents, call your next of kin. Like, it was some serious shit. They did the
Oh.
transfusion. I woke up the next day and I was on dialysis. That's basically the machine that does all your kidney shit for you. So I was
Mm.
on that for like about a year and a half, and then I got the call about the kidney transplant and got that done, and now I'm back to moving again. But even when I was on dialysis, I was making music. I was cutting vocals. Like the music has never stopped. It's never stopped. Like I don't think I don't.
You were recording vocals at dialysis?
Well, when I came home from dialysis, right? Because
Oh.
I would do dialysis for like 4 hours, 3 times a week. So when I would
Mhm.
come home, I'd be tired. But I feel like if I lay down and slept, then I'm losing time on being creative, right?
Right.
Like I need to keep myself active. So that was my way. Some people play basketball. Some people play video games. Some people, music is what is my sport. You know what I mean? That's what keeps me going.
Right. Wow. So
Yeah.
dialysis, that's where they poke you?
Yeah. Yeah. That's when they stick you in the arm, with two big ass needles, like veins,
Uh
like veins, snake veins. And you stay on that for like 4 hours and it just filters out your blood. Like it's a serious process, man. But
yeah.
thank God I made it through that. Thank God I
Yeah,
made it
happy
through
you
the
got it.
transplant.
So now you got the transplant. Like how do you feel? Do you feel a difference?
Now I feel a lot better. You know what I mean? I'm not as
Yeah.
tired. I'm more energetic. I'm able to go out of town now if I want to
Hmm.
and not worry about coming back to be on dialysis. It just gives me
Oh,
that
okay.
freedom to, I'm planning trips back to France. Like a lot of shit I
Yeah.
had to stop because I couldn't do dialysis in France. I couldn't do
Yeah.
dialysis in Dubai. I couldn't do dialysis in all these other places. But now it's like, shit, let's go. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
pick up where we left off of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only person who
That's
can stop, the only person who can stop you is you, no matter what you're going through. You know what I mean? And so
mm,
I say if I can keep going with all the shit that I've had and other people don't have those issues, they should be going hard. Because they could be in the
yeah.
same place that I was, and where I was a tough place to be. A lot of people don't make
Right.
it out of where I was. So if you don't have any of those issues, you should be on your shit every day and making the
Yeah.
most of every moment. If that's your dream, right? If that's what you really want to do, you should be on that shit.
Wow. Yes, man. Um, do you have any advice for anyone that's in the entertainment industry? At first, I was gonna say, do you have any advice for like artists? But like I said, your accolades are so huge that
Right.
now I just say entertainment industry
Right.
because yeah,
My thing, I mean, if anybody watching or whoever wants to be into the entertainment industry, I would say learn about it as much as you can before you step a foot in it.
Right.
Go get some books, read up on that shit. Go Google, go to YouTube and pull up seminars, right? Like really see if it's for you. Like I said, we have a lot of people who are rappers who would actually be better being journalists, who would actually be better making websites, who would actually be better, being promo, right?
Right.
But they still stuck on I need to be a rapper. The entertainment industry has tons of fields for you to be in. We need more people who look like us doing that other shit.
Yeah. Right.
Because
Yeah.
nobody looks
True.
like us is signing. Nobody looks like us is signing checks.
Oh,
You know what I
hell
mean?
no.
Like
Yeah.
like I said, I'm one of the few people, as far as artists that like I make my own. I sign my own checks.
Right.
I pay
Yeah.
myself. You know what I mean? I make sure that that's how that goes down. We don't. A lot of artists aren't in that position, so we need more people who look like us, who understands an urban artist or somebody who's singing,
Right.
or their family situation, or where they came from, and not to give them a fucked up deal, right?
Yeah.
Like say, okay, you're still in high school. Let me make a deal where when you get to college, you'll have money. Let me make an escrow. Let me put some money. Let me put half of this advance away for you, so when you graduate college, you can start your life with money. You know what I mean? We need people like that who are looking out for us instead of just giving us a check, making a bullshit ass video, and then move on to the next artist. Because you don't make no money with streaming, right? So you really got to know how
hell no.
you really got to know how this industry works and just study it. And if you get into the music industry, entertainment industry, make sure you're doing it because you love it. Because you're not gonna make no money off top.
Yeah.
That rarely happens. So make sure you fucking love it. Like that's what your heart is telling you want to do. And then once you put that energy out, everybody you looking for will come to you.
Yeah.
That's the magical part about it, right? It's like me personally, I've never gone out and looked for a record deal. Never. I've never gone out and looked forward to being on a tour. I toured with Hieroglyphics and Souls of Mischief and Project Blowed, and I never went out saying I need to be on a tour.
How was being on tour with Souls of Mischief?
It was amazing.
And why are you just glossing over all these great moments, man?
It was amazing, man. And the way they met me, like a lot of people talk about, I'm in Austin, nothing happens in Austin. Hieroglyphics and Dale saw me at Austin. I opened up for Dale, and when I got through rocking the house, it was at Emo's. The old Emo's used to be on 6th Street. And when I got through rocking with Dale, a long time ago. When I got through rocking with Dale, that was maybe like 2003 or something. Dale came up and said, "Hey, I'm going on tour with ESPN for the 2K4 video game." He said, "I'm going on tour. You want to go?" He said, "You can ride the tour bus. You have a hotel room. Shit, all you got to do is say yes or no." I was like, "Shit, yeah. Yeah, I'll go." So flew out to the Bay, met him up, got on the tour bus with Souls of Mischief, Domino, the whole crew, and we just did all of the U.S. Man, we did Canada. That was like my first real big tour of really being out there. We played House of Blues, we played the Fillmore, we played Atlanta Jazz Fest. We had Arrested Development open up for us. It was crazy, man. It was like we was out there kicking it. We was out there killing it, man.
Yeah,
killing it. And for me to get up there and rock my own songs too, because my partner Buku won, he was Dale's manager, but he was also an MC. So he would open up the show, and he was like, "Yo, T, let's join up as a group for this tour, and let's open up all the shows." I said, "Bet." And so we just got there and just rock, where the crowd would just go crazy for us. We'd get done. I was probably selling CDs every night. I was probably selling maybe 50 to 60 CDs a night.
Damn.
Myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's like $10 to $20 depending on where we were to myself. So I was eating good as an independent artist. Like ESPN wasn't paying me. I told them, "You don't got to pay me because my hustle is so good. I can sell my own shit."
Yeah.
And of course I was talking shit, right? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I might not have sold nothing, but I go in there like, fuck that. I could do for me because you got to get their respect, right?
I mean, but were they gonna try to pay you though?
Yeah. They were like, "Well, we'll give you like a little per diem and a little something." And I was like, no. Let me go for me. Let me go for broke. I need to learn this experience. If you babysit me, if you coddle me, I won't really respect it. Because then I can just wake up and get a check and go bullshit. But if I know that every day I eat because I sell my records, I'm gonna go hard. And that's how I would. Like when I got off that, like I toured with Dale like maybe 4 times. And when I got off that first tour, I probably made more than some of the other groups that was on the tour.
Yo, you are cut from a different cloth, my friend. Like, yo, like for real, like you're fucking inspiring. That is, yo. So,
Yep.
okay, what was your I want to say your favoriteest moment in your career so far, and then your most accomplished moment in
Man,
your
I'll
career
probably
so
say
far.
my favorite moment would probably be watching Breaking Bad for the first time and seeing my song come on the TV.
Yeah,
Like the first time I watched Breaking Bad, because remember I said I never watched it.
yeah.
So the first time I saw it was the same night they played my song in it. So
Mm,
that was just like, oh
yeah.
shit. They wrote me and said, your song's coming on tonight. I sat there and I was watching it the whole show. I was like, it ain't in there. And then this scene came and it was like,
Yeah.
that's my shit. Right? And I was like, oh shit. So that was like an amazing moment, right? Because that's not like I made it type of shit. Because I knew I owned all
Yeah.
my music. And I'll probably say another one of my accomplishments that I think was really dope was when I got on the cover of the Chronicle,
I
like
saw that.
a few weeks back. Like that was real major to me because I'm an Austin boy, right?
Yeah.
I'm the purest of the town. So for me to get on the cover, and I didn't beg to be on the cover, I
Right.
didn't pay to be on the cover. I've never kissed nobody ass to get no type of media. You know, a lot of people call me an asshole because I don't play all that lovey-dovey shit. You know, and to get on the cover, it was just like, damn, that was dope. And it was a cool picture. The story was great. You know, they put like King of the Hill and all that type of shit on the
Yeah.
cover. It was dope. It was dope. It was a
I
blessing.
think the jacket you was wearing was pretty dope
Yeah,
too.
it was dope. I was rocking 2 watches too on that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you normally just rock 2 watches?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? It's like, well, not all the time. It depends on if I'm having a meeting, I just might wear like a little more dress up watch or something. But
Yeah.
usually I rock 2. You know what I mean? I'll rock one that might be a little bit more colorful than one that's kind of a
Yeah.
little toned down. But it really depends, man. Like I just got so many of them, right? Why not wear
Yeah.
2 at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now
fuck it.
what's your most favorite watch and what's
Mm.
the watch you cherish the most?
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. I don't even know if I can answer that, man. I'll probably say, hmm. I'd probably say my G-Shock. I got a G-Shock. Well, it would probably have to be this one that I got today, actually,
Yeah.
from France, right? Because this one has Morse code on it. You can put your blood type in here. You can put your credit card number in here, which of course I'm not going to do. But it has a lot of
Is it a smartwatch?
no, this watch is from 1997.
How the fuck you putting a credit card in there?
That's from well, you can put your credit card
Oh.
number in there.
Well,
Yeah,
no. I know that, but like, what is it gonna scan?
it has like all these different settings in here that you can just this G-Shock was ahead of its time, and it was only
Yeah.
released in Germany. I think only 1,200 of these in Germany. It was like a limited edition for this French artist. So
Yeah.
this is probably my favorite one right now that came in today. So I really fuck with it. But the one I cherish the most, I don't know, man. It might be my Yema, Yema, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a French watch company. That's from like the 40s or something. And it's
Yeah.
because it reminds me when I was in France with a young guru. So it has that French connection. It has that
Yeah.
sleekness. Like when you're in France, it's like the whole vibe is like the shit you see in the movies. Like
Yeah.
you got the cool vibe, everybody's relaxed, nobody's tripping. You got the beautiful women, you got the trees and the goats and shit you don't see in Austin, right?
Yeah.
It was just like being in the fucking country, and it was on this big ass piece of land. You know what I mean? I've had some crazy moments, man. I've had some crazy ass fucking moments, but yeah, probably Yema.
What's your top 2 crazy moments?
Oh man, it might be shit. It might be probably back when I was like 15 and we did a show at Doris Miller, and it was probably like 500, maybe 600 people there, and some people couldn't get in. It was just like sold out. And
Yeah.
just imagine you a kid, like we're kids, Like we had our little airbrush jackets on, like we had our shit together, and just show up and everybody's like, dope melody, T Double, Chili Fresh, the fellas, all this shit. Like that was probably one of my moments where I was like, okay, I could do this rap shit. Because I'm really an introvert, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I post a lot, but if we're in the same room, I probably won't say shit.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Like online, I can do that shit all day. So
Yeah, I podcast, but yeah, if I see you, I might not talk to you.
yeah, I might like that. What's up? And that'd be it. But
Yeah.
that was one of the highlight moments. And I would say going on tour with Dale for the ESPN 2K4 thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have 2K4, there's a way you can unlock Souls of Mischief and my boy Buku and all
Oh,
them.
for real?
And I
Wow.
got involved with them a little too late, maybe a
Yeah,
month or
yeah.
so too late to be in the game. But that was the
Damn.
game that we toured on.
Yo, that's dope, man.
Yeah, and ESPN paid for the whole tour. Like it was we had a huge ass tour bus, and we were gonna do Louisiana instead of Austin. And I
Mm.
begged Dale, literally, I said, man, I gotta go to Austin on the tour bus. I gotta go back to my city.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
On the tour bus. I said,
Yeah.
cancel the Louisiana show. So they went through all these jumps and hurdles. They canceled the Louisiana show, and we pulled up in the tour bus to Emos. And so we get to Emos. I called the hood. I called all the folks. I said, meet me at the tour bus. I was bringing motherfuckers on the bus. It's like, I'm the hood. Like,
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
I'm on the fucking tour bus. We had a studio in the back. I mean, it was dope. Now that's a live ass moment right there.
Hell yeah.
We brought the tour bus to the town, man. We brought that big bitch back.
So I'm asking you this one more time.
Yeah.
Do you think you're a legend, nigga? Yo, you have done some legendary things, and I really like, dog. I really love how humble you are, but I appreciate how humble you are.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, wow. I
look at it like, you have certain artists that they get really gassed up on themselves. Yeah. And then anything can happen and you can lose all that clout. You can fall right down the ladder as fast as you went up that motherfucker. So you always got to remain humble and remember where you came from and what got you there and who got you there. That's why when I signed with Good Vibes and, all the press was saying I was from LA because that's where the label was. I was getting on their ass. Make sure it say Austin. Yeah. When they did the album cover, the back of it was something different. I said, put the Texas flag on that bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to be stern with what you want to represent because they'll take your image and anything and make you something else. And then when that dies down, I got to come back to the town.
Yeah.
So now I'm coming back to Austin and they looking at me like I'm some LA rapper. Yeah. I got the town. Never that. Like I'm 100% the town. I'm 100% Austin.
Wow. Damn. Man, so we are a little bit over a hour. Do you have any last words for the people? Tell them where they can find you or what you want them to know about you, anything?
If you want to find out anything else about me, just go to tdouble.com, www.teedouble.com. That's my contact. That's my Urban Artists Alliance, which we didn't even talk about. That's my videos.
Touch on that real quick.
Yeah, well, Urban Artists Alliance was something that I created maybe 8 years ago to educate urban artists. Mm-hmm. I help them get grants through different programs because, like I said, if we don't have somebody who look like us doing these certain things, then we'll never get those opportunities.
Yeah.
We'll just be wondering, how come we're not getting grants? How come we're not learning about the music business? How come we're not? Well, I'm out here teaching. I'll teach you. I'll help you maneuver those waters so you don't get fucked. Like, I don't ever want to meet an artist 10 years from now and they tell me they got a bad contract when I could have helped them. Like, I like talking to artists and they say, yo, T, you got me out that contract because I listened to you and I did boom, boom, boom. Like, that's my payment. That's what I like. I like it when you can win. When artists are winning, I love that shit. Those are the home runs for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, to anybody out there, man, just stay the course. Believe in yourself. Like, a lot of people not gonna believe in you. They're gonna tell you what you're doing is crazy. It's dumb. It's, it's not for you. It's what. Just believe in yourself. You'll know when it's not for you. you'll know when that moment hits where you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this. But always have options, right?
Yeah.
Like plan B and C. If you want to be a rapper, try that shit. If that don't work, maybe look into a journalist. We need more black writers, hip hop writers at the Chronicle.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can get into television. We need more executive producers on TV shows, blogs, streaming. There's many avenues. Not everybody has to be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, but just keep striving. You know, try to achieve success. Make sure everything you do is pointed towards success.
Right.
Even your failures are success if you pay attention enough, if you watch them close enough. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what I mean? I'm just a kid from Austin, man. I'm just like I always say in my hashtags, man, I'm just a kid from Keelan.
Yeah.
That's how I'll always be. That's how a lot of people remember me. I'm the kid from Keelan, man. So that's what
That's
I'll always
fucking
be.
dope.
Yeah, that's what I'll always be, man.
Man, this was great. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that we, keep in contact. And,
Yeah,
and
for
I, I
sure. Oh yeah.
I will, because I also have some questions I want to ask you that I'll probably hit you up tonight or something with.
Yeah.
But wow, like I thank you for being on. And I know I asked you before we got on here that if we ever met, and I honestly I'm thinking either we had, maybe, I don't even know if it was at a show,
Yeah.
but if that's not the case, I don't think we had met. But
I don't know.
like, if it's nice to meet you,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this was wow,
Yeah, that's
man.
that's what it's all about, man. It's all about connecting, building those
Yeah,
connections, you know what I'm saying? And maintaining those connections. And so, you know, this is just the first step, man. Like, let me know where you're trying to go, anything you're trying to
yeah,
do, and any way I can help you further that along. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what I'm here for, right? I'm the plug. I'm the plug for real. So
yeah,
anything people are trying to do, let me know, and I can try to plug that shit in and connect you to who you need to connect to, and help you chisel up your proposals and just all that
yeah,
type of shit, man. Because I didn't have that coming up, man. That's why I'm so adamant about it, right? Because I had to learn the hard way. You know,
yeah.
I already created the wheel. I don't want people to try to recreate the wheel. I want them to make the
Right.
engine now. I want you to
Okay.
build
Yeah.
the jet now. I want you to make the rocket ship now. That's what I want people to do now. Don't go backwards. We already did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man. All right, man. I appreciate you for being on here, man. I'ma
It's
holla
all
at
love,
you.
brother. Yeah, it's all love, brother. Peace, y'all. Y'all stay easy.
Yes, sir. Moke and Friends. Wow, that was great. I don't want to say I think I don't get too stumped. I mean, I'm a little bit stumped, but I was stumped. I'm pretty impressed. So who we got coming up? Oh we got Clove, Cynthia, John, blah blah blah. But yo, thank T Double for being on this show. Shout out to my son Patrick. Hello to my daughter Ava, and hello to his friend Ava. Um, man, shout out to Moses. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody who's just, shout out to all the creators, all the people doing podcasts, all the people who are making good music, all the people who are just living life. Shout out to all y'all, and thank y'all for viewing Moke and Friends. And I'm about to get out of here because I'm about to go eat and probably smoke a doobie. I don't know, but hi mom, I love my kids. Peace.